Welcome back to Smok'n Jay's Garage. Today we're going to tell you why you should measure twice and cut once. Or in our case, drill. So, I've seen a lot of people lately talking about putting a battery charger, specifically this Noco, in their boat. And I thought I want to give it a try because I tend to go out a lot of times, especially on windy days. And I'll drive maybe 5-10 minutes off of, away from the dock, and then I'll sit there, we'll chill, we'll play in the water, we'll do whatever for maybe 5 or 6 hours where we're running our house battery, and then we're only charging it for like the 5, maybe 10-minute ride back to the dock. So over time, our battery tends to get worn down a little bit, and we can just hardwire this charger in. When we come home, just plug it in and make sure we're good to go. So I went with the 5 amp. Obviously I have 2 batteries, so a 2 bank. I went with the 5 amp rather than 10 or larger, because when I get back, I've got a minimum of 12 to 14 hours before I'm going to take the boat out, even if I take it out the very next day, which is enough time for a 5 amp charger to charge up these batteries. And typically slow charging a battery is easier on it than fast charging it. So I'd like to charge it up as slow as I can, but still have it ready for when I go. So I wanted to mount it. If you take a look in here, I wanted to mount it out of the way. So as you can see, I've got it right here, but it was supposed to be flush with the top of this bracket. And as you can see, I'm lower because when I made my mark, I marked it from the back side so that I could drill through it. And by the way, drilling through that carpet is super hard. You can see what that did to my drill bit. Just kind of gnarled up all the carpet in there. So take your time going through there because that is a pain to drill through. So I wanted it back out of the way here. It was actually supposed to be a little bit farther away from my fire extinguisher. I took that out so that we could see, but it does fit in there. It's tight, but it's not as close as it looks. So I drilled from the back side because there was no way that I could get in from that side. Drilled from the back side. I just put a bolt with a small nut on it and a washer, as opposed to it actually does come with screws. I didn't use those because I wouldn't be able to get through them. But I wanted it to be out of the way. If I put it right here, I felt like then it was going to be hard to get my batteries out. And I wanted to leave this in all the time. So that's where I put it. Now, I also got this here, also from No-Go. And this is going to be a flush mount, relatively flush. You can see it's maybe 1/8 of an inch or so. But it's going to be a flush mount, and then that is waterproof, and that's where we're going to plug in our extension cord when we get back and we plug it in. Now, I wanted to put this on the outside of the boat, but I'm really apprehensive about drilling a 2-inch hole through my hull on the outside. Now, somebody suggested to me, well, just make sure you put it below the water line, then no one will see it. But I decided that we're going to actually put this on the inside of the boat, and then I'm just going to be able to plug it in, run my extension cord. And I've already looked at the back side, so what we're going to do is we're going to put it right over here. That'll be out of the way. It's not going to look bad, and it's not going to get any water to it, with the exception of if I'm here maybe hosing out the boat. Maybe it'll get a little bit of water, but it is waterproof, and I don't anticipate that being any type of an issue. So we're going to put it over there. I've already checked the back side. We've got wires here down below, but up here we've got a good spot. So I'm going to mark that, and I'm going to start getting ready to cut that. As I mentioned, I made sure what was on the back side and that I was clear. I also double checked though, once I got my actual bit through, I double checked where I could feel my bit, and I know this is a 2-inch. That's really hot yet. Made sure on the back side that once I got the bit through, that I made sure I was good to go so that I didn't hit anything on the back, because there are some wires back there. As you can see, the carpet here, I didn't accommodate for that. I'm going to have just a little tiny bit of carpet that I'll have to move out of the way, but that's not a big deal. Now for the moment of truth, we're going to peel the tape back off and make sure we didn't get any cracks in our gel coat here. You are seeing this as I'm seeing it for the first time. So we did, if you look very closely, we got a couple of really little cracks over there, which I'm not real excited about, but we have enough of a backing here that that's going to cover that up completely. So at least we won't be able to see it. This is going to fit in there just like so. So now we're just going to mark our holes here and screw this in, and that is what that's going to look like. That's going to be a really nice place out of the way, and we're just going to be able to plug that in whenever we need to. So you saw me starting those had self-tapping screws in them. I started obviously with my impact driver, but I didn't go all the way, and I finished it off with my screwdriver so I could tell exactly how tight I wanted it, good and snug, but I didn't want to risk stripping it. So give me 1 second here. I'm going to finish vacuuming this up, and we're going to plug it back in and double check that it works. All right, there we have it. We are plugged in. I'm going to lower this so you can have a look-see. I got to get this out of the way. There we go. So you can see we just plugged our extension cord right in there. And I run mine over the top of the tower here, over this spot, so that I can put my cover underneath it and it doesn't interfere with that. So that's going to give me the opportunity to charge up. I put my fire extinguisher back in, so you can go ahead and take a look closer in there. You can see that we are plugged in. We do have power. And the fire extinguisher is close, but it doesn't hit. So I'm not entirely happy that I didn't get it flush mounted with the top like I wanted, but at least I got it level. I did have to pull out, there's a piece right here. You can see at the bottom there's a bracket there and it's screwed in. I did have to pull that out. That piece right there with that bracket, I pulled that out and I moved that out of the way so that I could get back there and I could run my cord. My cord is run back there, and then the cord to this, obviously, it's all plugged in back there. So as you can see, it's got a nice clean look. The only thing I'm probably going to change is I have this positive wire. If you come in here, I'll get out of the way a little bit so you can see. This positive wire, I ran over the top of all these wires. I'm probably going to pull it off, run it underneath those wires, just so it's out of the way a little bit more. But that is how I wired that in. It is out of the way, it is easily accessible, convenient to get to, but it doesn't take up any space, basically, any usable space, and it's out of the way, and it can stay there year-round. I don't have any trouble pulling my batteries out for winter. I pull my batteries out for the winter. So hopefully this video was helpful to you. If it is, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you're watching this channel for the first time and you haven't already, and you want to, boom, please subscribe.